What's up, everybody? Fame Rothstein here, Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show. Today is Monday, June 15th, 2020. Coming to you, it's about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the beautiful, sunny Queen City, a.k.a. the Republic of Cincinnati. So that makes it about, noon Pacific time and about 9 a.m. in Hawaii. But regardless of where you're listening, whether you're in the United States, overseas, in Africa or South America, perhaps you're in, Europe or Asia or Australia, just thank you for listening, or the Caribbean islands or the Pacific islands. Thank you for listening and welcome back to the show. Now, before I continue, I just want to remind you that I do have sports investing picks for today's show, so you might not want to listen if you feel you have a gambling problem. Instead, you would want to call your local Gamblers Anonymous Association hotline, and hopefully they can get you the services you feel you need. Because on this show, we normally discuss sports investing through sports wagering, and we don't want to be any triggers to any negative behaviors for you. Okay? But I do have some news commentary on, the things that are going on. All right? But before I get into anything, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all right? Hit that notification bell. Let me know you're with me. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell me what you think, all right? Now, first off, NBA is tripping now. They acting like they're not going to come back. Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard have recently come out and made statements saying, the fight for social justice and everything is more important right now. We don't need any distractions like basketball. I guess they're going to use their platform to do that. Now, I heard Stephen A. Smith this morning said some really dumb shit, to be honest with you. Because what he said was, your fathers and them had to do that. Had racial stuff going on, and, they reported to work every day, and you all, sorry, I don't know what's going on outside over there, and, this stuff isn't going away anytime soon. Well, the last part, I agree with Stephen. It ain't going away anytime soon. In fact, a lot of, protests across America started because George Floyd, a black man in Minnesota, he has some connection to former NBA player Steven Jackson, as a matter of fact. But he basically was lynched on camera. I mean, the cop put both knees on his neck, put his hands in his pocket, and for like nearly 9 minutes. I don't know what the hell that was for. Okay? Now, and so, protests, in every state, across the U.S. I mean, we're talking about states that ain't even known for having black people, like Idaho and Nebraska, other than, the football team and hoop team, but, things like that. So Stephen said that the first part of what he said was just foolish. Your fathers, that's a non sequitur, okay? But it's going to continue because today the Supreme Court has just decided to not take a look at overturning qualified immunity. Qualified immunity basically gives the cops protection to do anything they want to you as long as they're not violating your rights or another established precedent or whatever. It's a shield. That's all it is. And the Supreme Court, which was led by Clarence Thomas, shout out to him, because he's taking a beating for being too conservative, especially when it comes to black folks. But him and, what's her name? Sotomayor. What was it, Sonia Sotomayor? They were the only two people that were for it. The other 7 are quiet as kept. I don't, but the Supreme Court's getting praised for including gay and lesbian into the Title VII 1964 civil rights legislation. I don't get it. The LGBTQ people. Once again, I mean, it's a very complicated issue, but they once again piggybacking off of the black civil rights movement, the LGBTQ community, okay? We still got, these cops still have qualified immunity. That's the problem, okay? I try to keep my stuff about sports and sports investing I try to stay away from political stuff because it's very divisive, okay? It really is. Black people aren't even all the way on this, because just over the weekend, there was a guy in Atlanta, Rashard Brooks or Rashard Clark or something like that. I apologize for not knowing the brother's name. He is in his car asleep at a Wendy's drive-thru. Somebody calls the police. Cops come over. They question him, interrogate him. Everything's pleasant. Very good, positive police and community interaction like they should go up until the time they try to cuff him. Then when they try to cuff him, that's when everything just goes left. Now you hear some people saying, well, he was, he's thinking about George Floyd and thinking this ain't gonna happen to me. And then there's other, people that saying, look, man, you fighting for cops, you fighting against cops. I can't condone that. Yeah, because he gets into a scuffle with two cops, takes one of their tasers, runs from them, points the taser at him though, and then another cop hits him in the back 3 times, drops him, and he dies. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, that's just one of those things. Like, yeah, he shouldn't be dead, but you shouldn't be fighting with cops either. It's kind of like that's how that works as far as I'm concerned. No, he didn't have to die. Cops probably escalated the situation. It appears that they did, like they always do. But you can't fight cops. That's because when you tussle with a cop, what you're essentially saying is, I'd rather be dead than go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's some other stuff we could get into about that. I mean, the guy kind of appeared to be a square, talking too damn much to the cops. You know what I do when the cops pull me over? Give them my license. I'm in the car. I give them my license because usually I have the license in my hand before they get to the car. And I tell them, my insurance and registration are in the glove box. However, I'm not reaching for anything. If you want it, blah, blah, blah. If not, I got to go to court to prove it. Fine. And then I say one more thing to them. Do I got to go with you or am I going home? And I've got nothing else to say to them about whatever they're investigating. Do what you want to do. I said my piece. Am I going with you or am I going home? Quit talking to them. Telling them your life story. They don't give a damn, because once they pull up, they've already decided whether they're going to cuff you or not. All right? That's all that is. But at any rate, like I said, we want to keep it on sports betting. I thought my sports book, my local one, it just reopened today. The one, it's in Indiana. Ohio, as you know, hasn't approved sports betting yet. But one house has. I believe the maybe the reps have passed it and it went to the Senate, or vice versa. I'm not sure. But they've passed it. The other half is supposed to do it in the next term, which will be September. So I'm expecting sports betting in Ohio to be available for the March Madness tournament of 2021. Okay? But, yeah, so the NBA, they're doing that. And, again, I don't like that idea of them sitting out, not just from a sports betting perspective, but from the simple fact that, Dwight Howard, you've made a mint in your career. Kyrie Leonard, you've made a mint. Most of you guys have made plenty good money. What about that 9th, 10th guy on the bench? The guy who's always getting up, waving his towel when y'all dunk on somebody. He's been up and down in the D-League and going through Europe and Greece and Asia for the past 5-7 years. Now he's in a situation where he can provide for his family and pay some people back and whatnot, and you want him to sit out. I don't know if he, I don't know many people willing to do that. And I think that's unfair to ask him to do that. Now, if he's willing to do it, there's some people who are going to be, yeah, I'm down with the crawls, this whatever. There's always going to be people like that. But there's always going to be people like, look, man, I do my best to stay away from cops, stay out of their way, blah, blah, blah. I just want to make some money, take care of my family. What about that guy? That's why I don't like, these team protests and whatnot. Let the individuals decide on what they want to do. Dwight, you don't want to play, don't play. Lakers they should be able to replace you. Some of them are saying from COVID-19 that they don't want to go back. Same thing. You don't want to play, the NBA can allow them to replace you. But don't be doing these team protests with taking money out of, guys who pocket. Not everybody's been making 15 million, 20 million a year for the last, 5-10 years, however long Dwight Howard been in the league. I know he's been in a while. What? He should be going on. I want to say he came through, the year or two after LeBron? So he should be coming up on year 12, 13. He's made good money. He cannot play another game the rest of the rest of his career, and he should be all right. I just think that's unfair to ask them to do that. But at any rate, I have one pick for you. I thought boxing would be up. If boxing goes on the board for tomorrow, because as you know, ESPN, that boy Night fighting tomorrow. Night is. Come to the ring with the pillow. But it's not on the board. I don't know why. Maybe he's just fighting too much of a scrub or whatever. I don't know. But if boxing or anything, and KBO is not on my board, I'm mad as hell at that. I don't know where KBO, I'll be watching the games and, looking at the stats, looking at things, so I can make a reasonable sports investing advice for you all. And KBO, none of that's there. I'm really sick by that. But I've got one pick for you for today, about an hour. Okay? You've got La Liga, soccer. Okay? Real Betis against Real Granada. Okay? The Betis is minus 127 on the money line. Just go ahead and take that. It's not too far off the normal odds of minus 100, minus 110. So yeah, take the Real Betis against the Real Granada today. La Liga soccer, Spanish league. All right. So there you have it. That's all I got for you today, folks. I know I ran a little long. I apologize. There's just not much action on the board, but we're back regularly now. Thursday, I'll be back on the podcast. You'll see me on YouTube today, tomorrow, and the next day. Tomorrow, the next 2 days, I'll be discussing more, social issues, public, news type events, because there's not really many sports. But if there is something I see interesting, I will put it on there. Then Thursday through Monday is the podcast, all right? So there you have it. I'll holler at you, tomorrow on YouTube, Thursday on the podcast, Saturday, Sunday, you get all three, YouTube, podcast, and Instagram, all right? But until then, holla.